Hey, welcome back to Coffee with a Life Coach. I am your certified life coach, Brianna, and I want to do a really quick episode. I'm sitting in my car getting ready to go in for an appointment and want to do a quick episode that reminds me of my friend Bradley. So Bradley is a guy who has a real strong sense of self. He knows exactly what makes him tick. He knows some of the demons that he's fighting. He knows the things that make him happy and make him feel alive. He is a family guy and is passionate and loves deeply, connects deeply, and all of those things. But Bradley does what a lot of us do, and that is that we dip back into old behaviors. We dip back into things that don't align with our true self. And we do that because we're dealing with thoughts and feelings that we don't know how else to address. So for instance, loneliness or pain that hasn't been processed, or a desire for just social fun and interaction, a desire to escape a little bit at the end of a day. And so we find ourselves spending time and resources and energy with people and activities that they just don't align for what makes us feel great. So in this quick episode, I think that we should be curious about our thoughts and our feelings when we start to dip into those old behaviors. I'll say that a lot in a lot of episodes. Be curious. And what that means is go ahead and as you go through your day and you're on autopilot a little bit and you find yourself on the other side of doing something that you're like, man, I wish I wouldn't have done that. That isn't exactly what I want my future self or my life to look like. Look back and think about, what is it that you really wanted? You probably didn't really want to do those things, but you didn't know how else to meet that emotional need. You didn't know how else to feel the comfort or the interaction or the acceptance that you were hoping to get when you spent time doing or hanging out with folks who don't necessarily align with your love in your life. And so once you're curious and you start to feel like you start to identify what it is you're really thinking or feeling, then hopefully you can catch it on the front in the future and stop and kind of gut check before you agree to those social commitments, before you agree to the way you're putting out your energy and who you're aligning with, and you can stay a little bit more true to yourself. It's so common for us to have to reach into our 30s, 40s, 50s and have some of that pain that's not processed, fight through some of those demons of wanting to be connected to others, wanting to be accepting of others, wanting to love and just really have a rich life. And it's also common for us to not know how to do that ourselves. And so on those times when you're really looking to fill your bucket or get your bucket filled, the best advice I can give you and the best life coaching I can give you is to look inward. Again, in some of the other episodes you've heard me mention, you are the expert of your life. You are completely whole. You are not broken. I don't care if you're seeing counselors. I don't care if you have a diagnosis. Still, you are whole. You are not broken. And then third, you have everything inside of you to reach your best self. So when you're at the end of your day or you're in a weak spot and looking for some of those connections or to dip into some of those behaviors or relationships that just don't really serve you best, think about how you can start engaging in relationship with yourself. Think about what you could do to spend time investing in yourself. And it's uncomfortable at first and it can be a little lonely at first, but once you start to really love yourself, you change the game. No longer can you even spend time with those who don't align, they won't be comfortable around you because they won't know how to engage on that level. And then also you will put out in the world, like I said in my first episode, love, and that is what you'll get back. And the world does reflect back what we put out. And so if we're not respecting and loving and valuing ourselves, then we will align with friends or colleagues or acquaintances who also don't love and respect us. So for my dear friend Bradley, it is the beginning of a new week, and I wish you love as we focus on love in the month of February. So thank you for joining on Coffee with a Life Coach.